carry it all the way through. That's the thing I think about that. So the phone interview is basically, you might have 50 people. Out of the 50 people, you might have how many people that would come out of 50, would you say, as a possible, let's meet face-to-face now at this point.
Maybe 5 to 10 if we're really lucky, but...
Let's say we got 5 to 10. It's like, okay, now meeting the second meeting, the first in-person interview, we're now doing this. We got, hey, good luck, Sarah. We got 5 people out of those 50 we called, right?
Yeah.
Look, I'm not sure about 2 of them, but 3 of them sound pretty good. You might want to, well, I won't tell you which ones they are. You figure it out, okay? Now, do you interview them, or is Lonnie still in place here?
Lonnie still interviews them on the first round, but Brad and I are there, and so she comes and grabs us if it's a good candidate. She's doing some screening questions on the front end. If they walk in and their pants are around their ankles or their, whatever it is, it's just like, almost, seriously.
Yo, what's up?
Some of these guys, it's crazy.
It's good shizzle. This job sounds like good shizzle. My nizzle. So first person interview, she's doing that. She looks at it and says, is this a model of the Radiant employee, right?
That's right.
In the shop, or when you do this?
In the shop.
In the shop, yeah.
Yep.
And there's a couple ways you could do this. You could do it in the shop like they do it, introduce people to everybody, have Lonnie do it with somebody watching and observing like you're doing. I've also done it in a restaurant or something like that. If your shop is not all that, or you don't want it's very small and you don't want to bother everybody in the shop with this thing. One thing I could say is you could hold it in a restaurant or something like that. I've had some great success. Let's meet at. I was at one of the people I did with consulting was one of the first jobs I did. We met at a place called the White Fox in Burlington, Wisconsin. We had like 6 people come through and just watch the way they treat the waitress. Is a really interesting study in how they respect people and things like that. The way they eat, their manners and things like that. It's very interesting what you find out with that. But and the shop is definitely good. You can learn about that too. Lonnie has some great questions there. And we do have a lot of interview questions on the website. So if you have those type of things, do you have that kind of thing? Would you share that?
I think we use yours actually.
Good.
Yeah.
So you just use ours then. Thank you.
Yeah.
But you got some better ones. You got the secret stuff though?
No.
Come on, Sarah.
No, I don't
hold
think
back.
so.
All right, so that's probably too good for me, right?
No.
I wouldn't want it. The second in-person interview. So the first in-person, you're looking to say basically, does this look like a model of the kind of person who could work here?
That's right.
How much do you reveal about your company at this point in the first one?
Lonnie will tell them about if they ask about benefits, and she'll kind of paint a picture of what it's like to work here. I mean,
a day in the life of Radiant Plumber.
Yep. And then she just is kind of gauging too, does this person seem like a good fit? But if they seem like they're at all possibly a good fit, she is pulling Brad and I at that point or setting a second round interview.
So there's a process, but there's also a way to not be rigid in your agenda. So if you see a superstar and you say, yeah, Lonnie, I'm just looking for a place. I moved here from Michigan and normally I do $16,000 to $24,000 a week, and I'm just looking for a place that really wants to have that kind of thing. It's like, oh, okay, John. Well, that sounds really great. Hey, can I just call a time out here and just bring in Brad and Sarah and see maybe they like to meet you?
That's exactly what she does. Yeah.
Somebody who sounds like they're confident and they can communicate. It's like I think you might want to talk to this guy type of thing, right?
Yeah.
So the process would normally continue, but in this case, you're going to say, let's put this on pause and make sure that the people are hearing what I'm hearing and make sure it's the same thing I'm hearing.
That's right. She doesn't want him to get out the door without.
Now, is that it? Sometimes could there be a job offer on that first interview?
No, we wouldn't do that. We would certainly be encouraging to them and engaging and set a timeline for the second round interview. But there is a process that we follow. After that first round interview, we would do something like the DISC profile test. We would do a background check. We would do our drug screen. We would do all those things. They would come into the second round interview with that information.
I see.
And we would sit down to talk.
So then you do all your testing and things like that. Even we're going to talk about the DISC test. And I didn't have a chance to embed it into the program here.
Yeah, that's all right.
Unfortunately, I put it maybe in the wrong spot. Should have put it after the next one. But we'll go ahead and catch up with that. So the second in-person interview, obviously now we're getting to the point where it's pretty much, if you get to this point, you're going to make a job offer probably. If everything comes clean with all the tests, and the version of
not necessarily. The second round interview for us, after we've done the DISC profile test, that brings up questions that we're going to start asking in that second round interview. We've already done the first one. We've kind of identified that this guy is a potential match. could fit within our cultural organization. Now, with the testing, we're seeing, okay, within the realm of our position, like if we're hiring for a selling service technician, we personally, just us, like to have a technician that's decisive, that is very interactive with his customers. And so that's something that we're looking for.
There's certain values that
and certain values that we're looking for. We want them to be high on an economic scale. That's part of the DISC profile test. These certain things. But if they're a great guy and they're interviewing for a particular position, we might look at that and go, okay, well maybe he's not right for this position, but we should consider him for an installer position.
I gotcha, yeah.
And it helps us modify our questions for that second round interview.
I get you. So now you're kind of resetting your expectations based on what the DISC test. And is there an acronym for DISC? What is that program?
There probably is. I just know
DISC is the name of the program.
DISC, yeah.
DISC? I don't know.
It's the four personality types.
4 personality types?
D and I, S and C.
Okay, good. DISC. We're going to explain that right now, coming up, actually. Here it is. I'm learning as you are. Decisive, interactive, stabilizing, and cautious.
Correct.
Talk about the super technician. What are we looking for there? How would the profile look for somebody who is going to be a high performer?
Well, if you want to, you could go to the next thing, and then we'll come back to this. Okay, so this right here is one of our higher performing technicians. His D and his I, his decisiveness and being interactive is off the charts. Not all of our technicians are like this. He is kind of an anomaly, but he is our best tech. Mm-hmm. His stability and cautiousness is lower. He is a little bit more of a risk taker. He's okay with that. If you go back to that other screen, having seen those results, you can kind of see that decisive for the D. I mean, he's demanding, he's driving, he's forceful, he is all those things.
Would you agree that high performers are kind of a pain in the ass?
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Would you agree with that?
But he's high performing too.
It's like it's kind of pain in the ass who brings in $20,000 a week, right?
Exactly.
It's that guy, not him. Anyway, going on to this demanding. People who are demanding, how does that work on your organization? People who are demanding of you more, does that weaken the organization, or does that help the organization, you feel?
At the end of the day, there's a give and a take. There's our processes and things that have to be done. But he is demanding, but we still, he sells 15 to 20K per week. Mm-hmm. And he's not demanding in a way. There's certain non-negotiables. If he pushed it too far, this just wouldn't work out for us. And it's not like that.
He likes to ride the fine line, though, doesn't he?
He does like to ride the fine line. There's no doubt.
He likes to see where the hit the electric fence and say, okay, I'll
exactly.
back off. I'm
exactly
good there.
Right. Yeah.
It's like, you got shocked, and okay, cool. So interactive, obviously, is a people portion of it. How they tend to interact with people, and
and if you've got a guy that's at the bottom of the interactive scale, as matter of fact, withdrawn and aloof, that's not going to be your best salesman. Mm-hmm. That's not going to be someone that's going to enjoy the process of interacting with your customer and getting to know them. Mm-hmm. Stabilizing, he is worse. Spontaneous and active and outgoing, all of those things. He is a little bit rebellious, but he looked at the cautious side, but not too much. He doesn't go to the bottom or defiant. If you go ahead and switch over to the next slide and go one more. This was one of our lower performing techs. He's actually not with us right now, but this trend has been something that we've seen pretty consistently. That our higher performing guys, they do have a higher D&I, and our lower performing techs, the stability and cautiousness is the high dominant characteristics. Mm-hmm. And those guys make better installers for us. So it's not necessarily that they're just eliminated from having a position. It's just when we see that, we question, okay, is this person going to be perfect for a salesman
Got
role?
It. And overall, what does this chart indicate?
Actually, skip one more.
Oh, did I?
I'm so sorry. Yeah.
Okay. I don't have
okay, it's okay. The other one, you can go back one. It's also a set of values that the DISC profile does. The aesthetic, economic, individualistic, political, altruistic, regulatory, and theoretical. Aesthetic, we see that carry out in our plumbers, and that if their aesthetic score is at the bottom of the barrel, they may not care about the actual workmanship and what that looks like. That maybe they may just get it done quick and dirty.
It doesn't look if it looks good. The aesthetic means it's pleasing to look at.
Yep.
The economic, meaning that the money weakness would be a low, so they feel like their money, like their mother's in the truck, is they buy things cheap, or they think that money is, people wouldn't buy better things, and the economic is low. Is that
We
bad?
have kind of seen that, and I'll say this with the DISC profile, it's like with everything, you have to take it to a certain point with a grain of salt, but there's trends that you see. But the economic score, that's been one that if it's at the bottom of the barrel, we don't find that they're the best at selling.
And I see there's like little placeholders where it kind of hits that
Kind of
expectation.
averages
Yeah.
for people.
Right.
You can get really in depth with this profile tool and purchase one that's salesman specific, or whatever role it is that you're hiring for.
Say political. Does that mean internal politics, or does it mean?
It just means how they navigate through difficult situations. Are they a politician? How good are they at negotiating things?
So would that be a good? So if it was high in the political aspect, it would be good.
That is a good thing. Yep. And altruistic is helping people, caring about others. This values test is actually one of our CSRs. Her individualistic is very high. Her altruistic, helping others, is very high. She's very good at what she does. The economic, not so much, but that's not the position where she's really in. She's about booking the calls,
Get the call
and
scheduled.
helping customers.
That's it.
I got a
Right.
question.
Sure.
I do kind of the same thing when it comes to the hiring process, but my question is, why don't you do the test before you ever do the first interview?
We do sometimes, actually. It's not uncommon for Lonnie to ask for the email, send it to them, and ask for them to bring it in hand, or just send us the 2 attachments back prior to the first interview. We do that as well.
Dave?
Then, if under those circumstances, how do you verify that their whole family didn't take that test when you're just shooting out?
I think that's where, having that interview with them face to face and asking them a lot of questions about the results, hey.
Do you retest them?
We haven't, but I don't think that's a bad idea. And at times we have asked applicants to actually do it at the office. So when they come in for that first round interview, if we like them, we have a computer available, and we'll ask them just to take a moment and sit down and do it then.
All right. We'll move on. At the end, we can ask some questions. Here's a recruiting. It's kind of like a marketing calendar for recruiting here. You can't see it, but basically, if you could, which we'll have this on the website, the PowerPoint will be on the website. Basically, it's an employee marketing recruiting calendar, more or less, right?
It's kind of a communication tool that we're using for our action items. Here's all the positions that we have within our company. What are our action items for this month in our recruiting efforts? And then it carries it over to how many applicants have we actually interviewed, how many phone interviews were complete, second round, who was actually hired, kind of the results.
So if you're holding Lonnie accountable to these actions, if you have a person full-time doing this, nothing's worse than saying, what's Lonnie doing? Hey, we're down some technicians. What's Lonnie been up to?
Yeah.
I don't know. And so how important is it to inspect what you expect again?
It's very important, because this was really the way that we brought everybody on the same page as far as what our efforts were. If Brad and I had an immediate need for somebody, then we just log into Google Docs. It's a shared document that we have, and we plug that in there. And so Lonnie is seeing it the next morning when she opens it up, and it's just one consolidated place.
So this really is a full-time effort. This is not just lip service you're talking about. Something that really happens in real life.
Yep.
Interesting. How about the compensation? We got to move on to compensation
Sure.
right now, because we're probably running a little bit late here right now.